So the first thing we have to do is have everybody on this team use the CRM with fidelity. That's not negotiable. That's the only way you can run a business and know what the heck you're doing. You can't just guess and be like, well, I just think that this is a bad lead source, and because we're not closing a lot.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Reside Platform Podcast. My name is Suneet and I'll be hosting today. And I'm really excited about today's episode because I get to sit down with my friend, Sarah Hardy, Director of Ops at the Hardy team at Remax Marketing Specialist. Sarah, what's going on?
Not much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So guys, Sarah's story is pretty awesome. I think it's super awesome. And I tell her this all the time because she went from being deep in like the education field, like you were a school principal, right?
Yeah. Yep.
School principal and instructional coach, which is also fascinating, to running ops for a top real estate team with your husband.
Right.
Right. And then, which is a big pivot, also working with your husband.
How much time do you have? This is only 45 minutes?
Yeah, right. And since you guys have been in Reside and since you've been on it, your team has really grown.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of new opportunities, recently got Flex. And I think the really cool thing with you that I can't wait to dive into is just how you like think about putting together systems in the business and your guys' focus when it shows the numbers on the team culture, which I think is great. And I think so many people listening can get something from that and kind of melding all this put together to actually achieve results. So Sarah, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about kind of what was going on when you decided to begin working on, or maybe it was just helping out in the beginning, right? Tell me about that transition to coming into the business with Ross, your awesome husband.
So believe it or not, this is going to be the Cliff Notes version because it is a long story.
Okay. Well, I believe it.
I was in education my entire adult life. So that was my job ever since I got my degree in varying exceptionalities. I started out as a special education teacher.
Wait, what was your bachelor's in?
Varying exceptionalities.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. It's all encompassing when we talk about people who have special needs. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay.
So I started out as an ESE teacher, and then I just a few years in got a job at the district office, and I was an instructional trainer coach. So I started out by training the ESE teachers all over the county, and then the next year I moved into instructional practices. So I had to really learn deeply all of the instructional best practices. At the time in the school system, it was called Marzano. We taught all of the principals and assistant principals how to do that teacher evaluation system and how to really deeply understand it. And then we would go into schools and also help those schools understand how to use those practices and also try to turn failing schools into schools that were thriving and doing better.
What was the main focus? Special needs the whole time?
No. So that was only for my first year of coaching.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, it was just instructional best practices across the board. Like as a teacher, what are the things that you should be using? What are the methods that work the best for absorbing new information and showing that you understand something that's new?
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. It's been huge for our team. So that's definitely something that at the time when I first started this job, I didn't realize the connection, but I've seen it over time. But then from there, I became an assistant principal at a high school. And then I was assistant principal in elementary school for 7 years. And then I became a principal. Yeah. And then I became a principal, and I do have some health issues. So I have an autoimmune disease, and it was pretty taxing on me, honestly, because it really where I was working, they really do expect it to be your whole life. And I was getting there before the sun would rise, and I would get there after the sun would set. And I was a newlywed. Ross and I had gotten married recent to that.
And you're a mother.
And we have 3 kids between the two of us because we're a blended family. So I have 2 and he has 1. So together we have 3. And I was never around. And I was also like, if I was around, I was in bed because I was exhausted. And so for about a year, he had been saying, please come to work with me. You have the skill set. I need a director of operations. I really want to be the #1 team, a Remax team in the state of Florida. Like, please come. I always just thought like, okay, he just wants me to go work with him. And I've always been taught, I was raised by a single mom, like you don't rely on a man, you don't rely on someone else. You need to have your own career. You need to have your own stuff going on. And anyway, like I said, this is the short version, I promise. But I went to, to a teacher recruitment thing because I was 12 teachers short all year long that year. And I went to a teacher recruitment thing that normally had thousands of people that would come to look for jobs, and it had under 100 people. And I remember standing there and it was like immediately I was like, oh my God, this is my new normal. Like I can do anything if it's temporary, but if this is what it's going to be, I don't think I can sacrifice like my family for this. Like this is too crazy. So I went home and I told him like, I'm going to leave. And I left 2 days later. I will say earlier that week he had sat, I forgot, he made out a list of all the qualifications of the director of operations that he thought I had. And he said, listen, I think I want you to do this because you're my wife. I want you to do this because I really think that this would be a great job for you and you could really help this team. And he showed it to me. And that's when I was like, okay, he's being serious. And then that weekend, that thing happened at that recruiting expo. And I decided right then and there. And I'm not a person that takes risks. So it was a big deal.
You are methodical with your decision making, which is good, right? Like you want to look at all the angles of it first.
I'm glad I did. And I never looked back. So that's how I got involved in it.
And when was that?
Oh gosh, I guess it was 3 years ago. And it's funny.
Oh, so not that much before I had met you.
Yeah. And it's funny because my very first day on the job, we went to Orlando and visited Veronica Figueroa's team because they were the number one team in the world at the time. And it was like, oh my gosh. And we had this in with them. And so I sat with their director of operations, who at the time was Eric.
Eric's my boy for sure. Yep.
He's great. Yeah. And he didn't have his license because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get my license and my realtor's license. And I don't know what I'm talking about. How can I be a director of operations? And he was like, girl, I don't have that. And look at me, I'm helping run this huge team. And so it really helped me see kind of my value a little bit more.
So you still don't have your license? Good for you. I mean, yeah, that's really fascinating.
Yeah. I don't need to sell or buy anything for any. I don't need to. We have a whole team of people that do that and they're excellent. So I'll let them do it.
So you've taken the team from just a handful of agents to over 20 now, right? And always growing and growing the right way with the right people. And that's pretty good. That's pretty big, especially in like a smaller market where you guys are, right? So
yeah, it's pretty small.
yeah. What are some of the first moves you made to make that growth happen without getting super messy?
Sure. So the first thing, well, when I sat down with Ross, he was about to get rid of Zillow. I was just kind of asking him, like, where are you at with things? Like, what's going on? And he was going to get rid of Zillow and he was going to make some changes. And when I dove deeper with him and I was asking him, well, why? And everything in the school system is data driven. So that's all I know. And you don't just take one data point. It's like you triangulate the data, you have different kinds of data. And so I'm asking him for the data and he couldn't give it to me. And what we uncovered was it's because the CRM wasn't being used pervasively amongst the team. He had like 5 agents and none of them were really using Follow-Up Boss to actually have communication with anyone. They were getting the information, putting it on their personal phones and then having personal conversations. And so I said, well, you can't make big decisions based on no data. Like that's wild. So the first thing we have to do is have everybody on this team use the CRM with fidelity. That's not negotiable. That's the only way you can run a business and know what the heck you're doing. You can't just guess and be like, well, I just think this is a bad lead source and because we're not closing a lot. So I don't really know why, but I'm going to just guess it's the lead source, right?
So many entrepreneurs just go off of feelings and not facts, right? And I think that's like detrimental when you ever make a decision like that. It's funny, one of my good buddies, Chris Martinez, shout out to Chris, he wrote a book, Facts Not Feelings, right? And it's so true because, and talking about 2 marketing agencies, is you got to decide what to scale based on the data only.
Yep, period.
Right? Because what happened once you guys started working Zillow leads in the CRM?
We became in the top 1% of Zillow teams in the nation for 2 years. I mean, within a year we were there and we were in that 1% spot for 2 years and now we're a flex team.
So let's be real right now. Well, I'm not even going to talk about real estate. Almost every sales organization that uses a CRM fights a wicked CRM battle. What did you guys implement to get the team to actually buy in and work out of the CRM every single day?
Well, so Ross had worked with the people he was working with for quite a while, and they had a really good relationship, because that's one thing about Ross is like he's the sweetest, most honest, good person down to his core. And so I told him, you need to go about it by explaining how it affects your business, that you're losing a lot of money, that this is really affecting your work and your livelihood and your future and their future, because you don't know what's going on, and you can't be the leader you need to be for them, the whole point of them joining a team, without knowing where to help them or how to support them. How would that?
Sure.
And so we broke it down that way. And I'll tell you, there were a couple people who were very unhappy about it. And I will say, a pro tip for any leaders out there is you always want to get like your top people on your team aside first, one-on-one. Don't do it in a group, and get them on board first. And then that way, when you open it up to everybody, they don't buck you in front of everybody and make it a nightmare. That's like the kiss of death. You want to engage first privately, and
Yeah, pick up the phone and have the conversation. It's not even a text message.
or face to face, honestly. Yeah.
Like have a real conversation with someone that and who you have a fiduciary responsibility by them joining an organization to shoot them straight.
Yep. Yep. So some people were unhappy and they did leave, and that's okay. We wish them well. It's nothing personal. It's literally business. And so yeah, that just became the norm. This is what we do. And it was some time though before we had actual like standards around it, because we just wanted them to use it. And so that's where we started. And so at that time we only had a few people because a couple had left. And so it was easier when we hired people on to just say, this is the expectation. Like, this is what we do.
And then how do you maintain that standard without micromanaging? Or are you micromanaging like I do?
I think there's it depends on my energy. Let's be honest. It depends on the month. I'll tell you the truth. There's some months where I'm like, I don't even know what the CRM looks like. And then there's some months where I'm in it every day. Well, so on our team, they do 8,000 points in Follow Up Boss, because each action that you take in there is worth a certain amount of points. And so they need to have 8,000 points minus, not including the appointments. But we do add 500 points per open house that they do in the month. So it's 8,000 points a month, or 2 deals that go pending in the month. It's one or the other. Because we figure we have some people on the team that do a lot of sphere deals. And so if they're doing a lot of personal deals, and they may not have the points in Follow Up Boss because they really are talking to those people on their personal cell phone. But if they're getting the deals in, what do we care, right? So that's why we have either or, and it's worked out fabulously. And that way it's also not a feeling. Like, the data is the data is the data. I'm not going by if I like you or if I don't like you or what I think you're doing or not doing. Like, you either do it or you don't. And so that's how you get on leads or not on leads.
I like those standards. They sound awfully familiar too, but hey, I do it a little bit differently because I don't want to. So for everyone listening and watching, in Follow a Boss, there's a leaderboard that gives certain number of points for certain activities. One of which is appointments. The appointment one is the easiest one for somebody to flub.
Right.
Right. So many teams like the Hardys decided to take that away. I've left it in mostly because I just want to be able to show the damn thing on the screen without having to do a math problem every time.
Oh, I see.
So I just have a running total, but that's just my preference and something easier for me.
Sure.
And for you guys, you have two escrows of any kind. I have one escrow of a team generated deal only.
Yeah.
So just these little nuances, right? I'm just giving some context to the people that are listening is from what Sarah just said is it's not a feeling. Hey, here's the metric. You guys have that included in your contract too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we talk about it all the time. And each month I already have a pre-populated text that I keep on my computer because I have iMessenger on my computer. And so at the end of the month, or really the first of the month, I will send them like, oh, you met the goal. And I put the specific metric that they met and like, congratulations, like I'm so proud of you, keep it up. And they love that because it's a personal connection. It's a congratulations. They also know what their data is and what's going on. And I've never had someone be mad at me for saying like, hey, you didn't meet the metric this month, but I know you can do it, and let me know how I can help you. Like how would you be mad at me for that? That's wild, right? Like, so I've never had that happen. I've only had people go, I'm so sorry. I'm going to come back this month or whatever. But it's gone to the point where it's so incredibly rare for people not to meet the points or the metric that we have set. It's so rare. For the first 5 months of this year, we didn't have a single person miss it. And yeah, and this month we have had a couple, but there's been some personal stuff going on. So it is what it is.
Sure. Love that. So, what was your approach? Because I know that as you guys are growing, you're developing other leaders in the group,
Right.
in the team. And like, what's that approach been like? Because it's so important and it's also scary, I think, for many business owners.
Sure.
So, like, kind of, how have you rolled that out?
Well, that's how we've been able to scale our business is by having other people take on some leadership roles. So honestly, I mean, I use a very similar set up to what we did in the school system. So if you think about it, right, you have a principal and assistant principal, and they're like mom and dad. So any little conversation that happens in the day with anybody, you let the other one know, because you never know if it could be a data point that they have other information to. And so together you're like, oh, I see what's going on here. Or they might ask you something and then ask the other person something, hoping to get a different answer. It's no different than that's how it is in the school system. So you got to be on the same page, just like mom and dad. And so there's that. There's team leaders. So every grade level has a team leader. And so that's usually a person that has a great skill set that they can then, and usually has some good leadership qualities so that they can then help coach and mentor the other teachers on their team. And so that's really the approach that we have taken. There's some people who don't want to do that. They want to just work on their business, and they have their vision. And I think that is wonderful. But there are some people who want to be leaders themselves and they find it very fulfilling to work with other people or to mentor new agents. And those are the people that we just grabbed onto and we're like, hey, please help us, because then we're actually able to continue to help all of the agents, because they're not all coming to us for every single little thing. It's those little things they go to those mentors for, so that we can then help appropriately support our mentors and the other leaders and agents on the team, and be more available to everybody.
Exactly. It can be so hard because you want to be accessible and available for everybody. But if that's your whole day, then you're missing out on the growth activities. It's a real hard thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yep. And Ross was getting like calls and texts, like, I mean, until we would go to sleep at night. I mean, it was never ending. And he gets a lot less of that. And I do feel like we're much more supportive at a deeper level now, too.
Yeah. So your support has increased and Ross's time has also increased, and been able to focus on other cool stuff like YouTube. I know Ross is going to be on this soon too, talking about YouTube. You guys have been killing it with YouTube. Give everybody a taste of what you think Ross will say about YouTube.
Oh my gosh, it's his passion. So like I'll give you an example. You already know this, Suneet, but I want to out him right now. I want everyone to hear this. So he'll get these calls from people from the YouTube line, and it'll be recorded. Let's just say, oh well, because everything's recorded because it's in Follow Up Boss. And he'll go, hi, this is Ross. How can I help you? And they go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're the one that actually answered the phone. Oh my gosh. Honey, come here, honey. It's Ross on the phone. We've been watching all your videos. And so he'll it's constant, by the way. And so he'll call the kids in and be like, oh my God, kids, we have to talk about something. And he'll act like it's really serious. And they'll all come in, they'll be like, what's going on? And he'll go, I need you to sit down. And then he'll press play and he'll go, I need you to listen to this. And they're all like, oh God, not again. It's so funny.
I didn't know that whole story, and I'm really so glad he told me because I don't think Ross would ever say that. Well, he might. Now I'll have to bring it up when he's on next week.
He's not really like that in real life. That's why it's funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's also awesome.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, how are the YouTube leads working out for you guys?
They are freaking amazing. Almost all of them end up in a deal. They are almost all people really like 99% of them are people who are coming from out of state. They are almost always a higher price point. The average price point in our area is like 253, like 300,000. Let's just say 300, 310, something like that. And they're typically between like 500,000 to a little over a million. So that's awesome. They're more serious buyers because they're moving here for a job typically, and they're doing their research ahead of time. So they're actually for sure going to move here. And he's showing that he's the specialist. He knows everything about this entire place. He knows about all of the builders. He knows about all of the different neighborhoods and everything you could want to know. So why wouldn't you go with him? And I mean, they come into town and they're here to buy. They're here to look for their future home. And so they're serious about it.
Wow. Yeah. So much cool stuff on YouTube. And I'm so glad you guys are crushing it at that.
That's all Ross. That's all Ross.
It's still happening, right? So that's awesome. So we talked a little bit about data-driven principles or data-driven approach from being in the education system. What else from the education system? And I've been curious about this since I met you, so I'm glad that we got some time to talk about it.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right? Because I grew up, my parents are professors. My aunt was an elementary school teacher. My grandmother, elementary school teacher. Stepdad, he's like 78, still teaching like somewhere.
Oh, wow.
He's a glutton. Yeah. So, and my mom's done administrative stuff at the junior college level. So I grew up, every single dinner of my childhood was spent with my parents talking about junior college politics.
Wow.
Horrible.
Very cerebral.
Yes. Junior college politics.
Cool.
So, and from what other like skill sets and approaches did you bring from the education system to the team?
I think that's like the biggest, honestly, for me, because what I've seen in this industry is you can be an amazing, amazing realtor, right? Like you can know everything back to front, front to back, have a million experiences, be awesome, 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 and be like, I'm going to start a team. But that's a leadership is a different skill set.
Absolutely.
They're not the same thing.
Absolutely.
And some of them overlap, right? Like some of them will help you become a better leader. Obviously, if you've good people skills and what to say and things like that. But that's really the thing that I brought, I think, to the table and has really helped us. Like Ross has this specialty of this 20 years experience in real estate and marketing and he's so great with people and he has these great skills. But as far as like how to train agents to where they're actually understanding it. Oh my God. I remember the first week I sat in on a team meeting and it was like, there's no attendance. You have no idea who's supposed to be there, who's not, who's late. People are coming in late. There's no documentation of it. And Ross was talking at people. So he was like telling them, like, I want you to do this. And this is what it looks like. And, and he was going so fast. And I was like, whoa. So afterwards, I went through that with him and I said, content is awesome, but that is not how you tell people you need stuff done. Like this has got to be done with a plan in place. First, you have to show them what it looks like. You have to give them data behind it so they understand like this is tried and true practice. You have to talk about how it benefits them. People don't want to do anything unless it benefits them. That's just human nature. People, the first thing that people think is, how's this going to affect me? Is this going to be harder? Is this going to be easier? Is this going to help me grow? So like there's method to the madness. And also keeping track of who's coming in on time, who's here, who's present. That stuff matters. So those were the kind of things that I really have been helping him over the last few years is like how to train, how to support people, how to check in on them. And also support creating supports for them. So having an organized system so that they can find the things that we've talked about. It's not enough to just talk about it or have a great training. Where are those resources so I can go back to them? I can print them out. I can practice them. I can use them. I can practice in real life. And then I think the other thing is like the I do, we do, you do model, which is what I learned from the school system is I can do something and I'll show it. I'll model it for you. And I'll model it a few times if you need it. Then let's do it together. So maybe we're talking about a listing appointment, right? Ross will go out on a listing appointment and he'll take a new agent with him and he'll do that a couple times so they can see the way he does it, right? And then he'll help them, right? Third, fourth time, whatever it is. He'll help them. He'll sit down. He'll do the CMA together with them instead of him showing them. Now they're doing it together. Now they go out together and he's a guide on the side. So they're kind of going back and forth. They're both in it. It's like team teaching is what I would call it in the school system. And then once they do well at that and he feels comfortable with that, he'll let them take the lead, maybe on the fifth, sixth time. And he's just watching to see how they're doing. If there's anything that he can say, great job afterwards, or hey, this was great, but these are some things I would change, or hey, you forgot to do this. And that's called gradual release. That's a gradual release process. So those are things that we've all implemented and it's been helpful.
That's so cool. Great answer.
Yay, I got it right.
Yeah, it's good. So growing fast like you did, like you are, like you have,
Sure.
it can be tricky and it can be super fucking messy.
Right.
So how do you keep the culture strong and make sure everybody feels like a part of a team as you guys grow? Especially maybe even when you came on board as Ross's wife coming in to start working, like that must have been interesting, right?
Oh, sure. Because some people think there's some nepotism involved, or like maybe I don't deserve that spot or something. And listen, I have my master's degree in leadership. So 20 years experience in education. I promise you, I have the credentials. But those are the people, though, that you don't want on your team anyway. Right. And so what really naturally happened is the right people kind of got together, and that's what created the atmosphere. Like when I started interviewing people, I'll tell you the truth, I don't care what their background is or their skill set is, because I can teach them kind of anything, right? Like, but I can't change their personality. Like if you suck, you suck. Or if you're a nice person, you're a nice person. Like that comes across when you just have a casual conversation with someone. And that's what I look for when I talk with people. And if I get the vibe from them that they're going to lift other people up, they're going to be kind, supportive, they're going to have healthy competition, like those kind of things, you're in. I love it. You're in. We don't do gossip. We don't do negativity or any of that kind of crap. And so that has made all the difference in the world, because when your team consists of people like that, they like being around each other.
Right.
And they're productive and they're kind and they help each other out. So that's been the key.
I mean, I think the fact that you guys have been able to do that though is really good.
Oh, thanks.
It's really, really hard
Okay.
because you are leading a group of independent contractors.
Sure.
Right. So being able to do that, I think, is a big challenge for a lot of people that they may even not know. Right. Like for the longest time, I feel like maybe in 2017, 2018, as the teams were really coming up hard, culture became a buzzword. It's like a cyclical buzzword. Culture comes and goes, like, right? Like in 2018, 2017, I felt like it was a real big buzzword that was very interesting to me and that I was like chasing too, right? Like I remember going and visiting a big office of a colleague of a top broker, and just the whole conversation was about culture. So your approach for our team is really good. So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll tell you too, like Ross always had this vision of people coming into the office, like that goes with culture, and they weren't. And so what I told him is they're not going to be there unless you're there. You have to be there regularly. So that way they see, oh, he's going to be there when I'm in, and you have to be available to them. Like you can't just be like holed up in your office. Like the door has to be open. And so that made a huge difference though, because he really would kind of come in sporadically, or he was very busy himself with all of his listings and stuff. And so he made it a point to make sure he was way more present, way more available. And people started coming in regularly. And we also would talk about that all the time at meetings. Whatever you want, you gotta talk about it ad nauseum. You have to just talk about it constantly, right? If you want them to come in, you have to tell them, oh, the other day someone stopped in looking for a realtor, and Shaq was here. And so Shaq got to work with that customer. Awesome, Shaq. Hey, the other day.
You got to inspire the people by sharing stories. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The other day, Shane was in the office and he wasn't sure what to do. And so he came in and he asked me, and we ended up doing this great deal, like whatever it is. And so, hey, it's really great when you can concentrate and you're not having to worry about laundry or making this or doing that. You can focus better in the office. Come on in. We're here. We're here to help you. It makes a difference. Now we have people come in regularly all the time. It's awesome.
Yes, that is awesome. And shout out to two of your great agents, Shaq and Shane. So what's up, guys? You just got a shout out on the podcast. So good. Wasn't Shane on one of these podcasts with me or something?
Shaq was. Yeah, he just did it. Yeah, we were talking about that today, actually. We did like a little bowling thing today for lunch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah, we were talking about that. He was excited to be on.
Yeah, so for everybody watching and listening, go back and listen to a couple episodes ago with me and some agents, one of whom is Shaq from the Hardy team. All right. So, real estate isn't really a 9 to 5 job. Real estate isn't really a job because you're an independent contractor, right? You should treat it like a job, but it's not literally a job.
Right.
And things are always changing in the real estate industry. Last recently, we went through all that NAR stuff, which is whatever, but I already did enough episodes about my thoughts on that. So, how do you like what have you guys found that has the systems working but still gives the team members the flexibility that they need?
Sure. Okay. So, well, I think people thrive with having clear procedures. So people appreciate that, right? Like, and they appreciate consistency. So, I mean, I think that's a big part of it, honestly, because those aren't telling you how much work you have to do. Like, we don't have a quota where that says you have to do 2 deals a month or something like that. We do our go to the board exercise, which we learned from Chet Black, and basically.
You learned from me, but that's okay. You can give John.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was him at first. It was for you. Yeah. Who's Chef? I don't know who that is. It was Suneet, obviously. So it all melds together at some point. You all are just one at some point.
Sure, sure.
But anyway, from you guys, from you, Suneet, is to go up quarterly and talk about like, what are my goals? What am I committing to? And those are their goals. Like, we're not saying you have to do 5 deals in a quarter or 20 deals. It's up to them. We have agents on the team who their goal is to do 60 deals. And we have people on the team whose goal is to do 5 in a year. That's fine with me. Like,
Absolutely.
if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Our job is to support them to reach that goal. And so we do that through having our procedures in place, best practices, right? Teaching what works, like offering one-on-one coaching with them, going through their CRM and saying, okay, this looks good. This was a perfect thing here. Hey, the reason why this person's not responding to you is because you talked to them, had a great conversation, and then you didn't reach out for 7 days. So like, good, it's going to be tough getting them back. Like, oh, hey, this should have ended in a question, right? Things like that. And so it's those little kind of tweaks that they can make, and it makes such a difference in their performance. But I don't force that. I say, whoever wants it, sign up. Here's my Calendly link. I mean, people, if they don't want to do it, what am I forcing? And like, that doesn't help anybody ever, right? It's wasting my time. It's wasting their time. So I just do that with people who want it.
Something phrase I learned from Robert Palmer recently from LPT is the agent's ideal definition of success, right? What is their own ideal definition of success? And we ask that, and then let's go to the board exercise. And then it's important for everyone to remember, like, let me tell you, my first team contract is that if you don't do 2 deals a month, then you're terminated. Right. And for me, I was like, well, what if they do three one month and 0 the next month? This contract is kind of shitty. Right. So it took a lot of different kinds of iterations to understand that I got through coaching with John, which is to understand someone's ideal definition of success and how it's our job as their leader. It's our fiduciary job. Like that is our job, right? That's our business
Right, right.
to support them in their ideal definition of success. Good. So, if you look back over the last couple of years, last 3 years, what's either a big lesson or even like a big mistake that taught you something important as a leader of a real estate business?
Well, I would say a mistake, like, don't get too close to people. I know that sounds probably awful, but I I love the members of my team. I truly actually love them. I have love for the people I work with and I care about them. But I'm careful with the type of relationship we have because we have been really close to people before and thought, gosh, person's like my best friend and or something like that. And you really let them in on some private information. And then unfortunately, they just stab you in the back and leave and go to another team and try to recruit all your agents. So you're like, whoa, what happened? I did not see that coming. And so that was like really shocking for me and really hard for me, actually, emotionally. And so stuff like that, like I learned from that to just not get too emotionally attached. Then you can love people and care about them, but with some healthy boundaries there. So that's a lesson I learned.
You got to keep it at a professionally surface level.
Yep. Yeah, you have to.
You really do, because if you haven't been cracked, meaning mistreated somehow in your business by someone who may have worked for you or been an independent contractor, you haven't had enough people on your team yet, because you will get cracked. And it's just human nature. So a business,
Yeah, you're right.
right? And it also hurts like fucking hell, like you said.
It's brutal.
It's super funny. I was talking to my wife the other day. Shout out to my wife, Christine, who has never listened to an episode, probably doesn't even know we have a podcast, and that's okay. Is when I was coming up as a team leader, when there would be challenges with an agent or somebody leaving in an unabrupt way,
Yeah.
it would shake me. And it would like shake me at the house. I would be upset, and she would definitely know. I'm all, babe, like, do you remember when I used to just complain about this and be beat up? And she's all, yes. I was like, how is it now? She's all, I don't even know when people leave or not. And I was all, yeah, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. Right. So you just got to take those licks.
You get used to it. Yeah, you get used to it. When I was in the school system, I used to, at first, I would hate taking phone calls because it was always like someone angry, like, my kid didn't do that. What did that teacher do to make him do that? And I'd be like, and it would stress me out and everything. And then after a couple of years of that, it was like nothing. I could get screamed at. I've had to trespass parent. Like it was like nothing. So I think it's kind of, honestly, I mean, I can take that all day long. Like I'll run to a fight. Like I'm good. But but I think it's the same thing though. It's like this is a kind of a newer experience. And so you just kind of get used to it after a while, and it doesn't affect you as much as personally anymore, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. You just get another set of thick skin, right? Another shield. Okay. So, final question for today. Maybe for the team leaders listening right now, what's one simple thing they could start doing this week to make their teams more efficient and grow faster?
Well, that CRM, using the CRM with Fidelity is like the most important thing in the world.
And I love the way that you say that, using the CRM with fidelity. Oh, said so well. Good job on that. You need to like phrase that or like get something. Yeah.
It's real. Yeah, because you can use it, but are you using it with fidelity? Are you using it pervasively to record for all of your calls, for all of your text messages, for are you putting your notes in? Are you using tasks? Are you checking it daily? Like that is the key to success. I mean, of course you have to follow up with people and reach out to them, right? But those two things together, that's it. I'm telling you, that is the majority of what we go over with our team. This is how to say it. This is what you say, and you need to follow up. Say it, follow up, do the work, call, do the work. And people who don't want to do the work, they don't do well on our team because we're not going to hand them leads ready to go. But if you're going to do the work, we will. We're going to give you some great leads. But a lot of the people that are doing on our team are doing amazingly because they do the work that no one wants to do.
Yes. So they do the work. Work works. Yes. Good. Okay. So that wasn't the final question. One more. Because if somebody wants to send you guys a referral or talk to you guys about any of the cool stuff that you're all doing, how should they reach out?
Sure. So our email is pretty easy to remember. So it's our first name. So it's Sarah, SARAH at hardyrealtor.com. And Ross is ROSS at hardyrealtor.com. And you can reach out to me there because I really want to help you. My favorite thing is coaching people. So I freaking love it. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing I do. I love to help people. So we're here to help you.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on. I always love hanging out with you guys, you and Ross, and hearing all the cool stuff you're doing out there. It's been real fun on this journey for almost 2 years. And I think there's so much that I take being from an education, family background, not in it like you, but a lot of what you said really resonates with me. And I love that.
Oh, I love that too.
So everyone watching and listening, reach out to Sarah if you have a deal for them out there in Winter Haven.
What? No, we're not there. I mean, it's like an hour from us.
Okay. I look at, hey, Florida. I know you guys are in Florida.
That's right. Good job, Suneet. We're about 45 minutes north of Tampa. So we do the Tampa area and then we're in Hernando County. So Hernando County, Pasco, Citrus, Hillsborough. That's our area.
Okay. Hillsborough. That's what I was getting confused with.
Tampa. Winter Haven's not far from Tampa.
Okay, so if you got a deal for not Winter Haven, but all those other places, or you want to learn more about all the cool stuff that Sarah's doing over at the Hardy team, reach out to her. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Sarah, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
And Ross will be on soon. So make sure you hear that episode. And also make sure you go back and listen to one of the agents on her team, Shaq, share in a previous episode. And as always, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Reside Platform Podcast. See you later, everybody.